The Galaxy Note series is a step up from the Galaxy S series. Most notably, it usually has a bigger display, bigger battery capacity, a few new software and hardware features, the famous S Pen, and a larger price tag. The Note 10 Plus is no exception to that rule, but how is it different or better than the Galaxy S10 Plus? That's what I'm going to be discussing in this video, and by the end you'll have a clear idea of whether or not the Galaxy Note 10 Plus is worth those extra few $100s. Starting with the looks and build quality, the Note is a lot boxier, bigger, and heavier than the S10 Plus. The S10 has more dramatic curves on its sides and corners, and I personally think that it provides a more comfortable feeling when held. However, the Note 10 is much easier to unlock and lock with just one hand since Samsung finally got rid of the Bixby key and just placed the lock button in the same position, though that means the power button is now on the left. The Note 10 also updated its looks on both the front and back. There's now only one camera on the front and it's in the center instead of off to the side. It's also a bit smaller, providing a better screen to body ratio. The three rear cameras on the back are also smaller and off to the side. It provides a less cluttered look all together in one line, which I think is more attractive, something that a few companies should have done. The only downgrades are that the Note 10 doesn't include a heart rate sensor or a headphone jack. I realized that was bound to happen eventually. I just thought Samsung would have waited for the Galaxy S11 to be released first. The most eye-catching difference is the new color option that comes with the Note 10. It's called Aura Glow, and it's not a simple or plain color, but a colorful glass mirror that changes in different types of lighting. You can literally see every color in the rainbow. Since both phones are glass encased, you're bound to coat them with fingerprints and smudges easily, so to fix this, I recommend you pick up a skin from Dbrand to cover them up. It gives your phone a personalized look and provides a ton of grip so you're less likely to drop it. Being that both of these flagships are so massive, this is definitely a plus. On my Note, I'm using the Black Swarm material, while on the S10 Plus, I've stuck with the Concrete Edition, changed things up a bit. Both of these styles make the phones look marvelous, but if you don't like them, don't worry because Dbrand has plenty of materials to choose from for many different devices, so if you're interested, I'll drop a link in the description to check them out. There are also a lot of things that went unchanged between the two phones. For one, the display is pretty much the same, it's just a bit bigger on the Note 10 Plus model, which is nice. The S10 Plus already had the best smartphone display on the market, so I'm glad they just copied and pasted it over on the Note 10 Plus. I wish I could say the same thing for the smaller regular Note 10, but Samsung decided to drop its resolution down to 1080p. I also wish they would have gone with a 90Hz display instead of 60, since it doesn't feel as smooth as the OnePlus 7 Pro, even though both phones have the same chipset and RAM capacity. On that note, the S10 already had the latest Snapdragon processor with 12GB of RAM, so it still feels just as fast as the Note 10 Plus. I couldn't really see a difference in performance here. On top of that, biometric unlocking speeds are about the same. Both the in-display fingerprint sensor and face unlock work just as fast as the S10 Plus, which isn't horrible to use, but when compared to other flagships such as the OnePlus 7 Pro or iPhone 11 Pro, it still seems like a step behind in terms of speed and recognition. All of the cameras on the front and back are also very similar, not just on paper, but in real-life tests as well. The only hardware difference is that the Note 10 Plus's telephoto lens uses a larger aperture to perform better in adverse lighting, and it has a time-of-flight sensor for better depth detection for things like portrait effects. Just like the S10's cameras, the Note 10 still provides phenomenal results in good lighting. Photos usually have rich colors, are well detailed, great sharpness, and very vivid. However, when it comes to low-light performance, they still need a bit of work. Blurry pictures are very common on both of these flagships, even with a steady hand. And even with Samsung's night mode, most images are overexposed and have a lot of grain. The only real advantage I see when it comes to the camera on the Note 10 is that it now includes a new camera mode called Live Focus Video, which takes recordings to the next level. It basically keeps the main subject in focus within a video while the entire background can be blurred out, turned to black and white, or even glitch out. On top of that, the Note 10 Plus supports a new app called 3D Scanner, which uses the time-of-flight sensor to scan an entire object like a stuffed animal and have it come to life. The scanned object will follow your every move on camera, but to me it's just a gimmick since most scanned objects come out looking pretty weird. Lastly, the software on both devices is very similar. Both are running Samsung's One UI interface layered on top of Android 9 Pie, but the Note 10 Plus has a few advantages, especially with the addition of the S Pen. With the stylus, you can do things like draw things on your face and have the drawings follow your head movements with AR Doodle. You can use screen write to draw over any screen or picture. When the phone is locked, you can just pull out the pen and jot down some quick notes without even needing to unlock the phone. I can translate anything on my screen by hovering the pen over any text, convert my drawings into actual text within Samsung's Note app, and since the pen now has a gyroscope, I can gesture control the camera. Swiping up or down will flip between the front and back camera. Quick whips to the right or left will switch between camera modes. Circles will zoom in and out. And of course, tapping on the S Pen's button snaps a photo, which is great for taking group selfies. A few other software features that the Galaxy S10 doesn't have are a powerful video editor within Samsung's Gallery app to merge video clips or pictures together, add background music, text, fix skin tone, and more. The Note 10 Plus now supports Samsung DeX without needing a dock. You can just use a USB cable instead. For those unfamiliar with Samsung DeX, it's basically a desktop software that lets you control your Samsung device. You can run Android apps on your computer, transfer files quickly, manage your phone's notifications, and more. It's still extremely laggy and there are better options out there, but it's nice to have. And lastly, you can customize the hardware lock key to open whatever app you'd like with a double press, or disable Bixby when long pressing on it just to open the power menu instead. On the Galaxy S10, you can only customize the Bixby key and not the actual power button. Battery life on the Note 10 Plus has improved drastically for me. Surprisingly, it doesn't even have that much more capacity. The Note 10 Plus has 4300 mAh, while the S10 Plus has 4100. With only a 200 mAh difference on the Note, I'm seeing a screen on time of around 6 to 7 hours easily, while on the S10 Plus, I got an SOT of about 5 to 6 hours. Both devices can easily last the entire day, but you'll have a bit more juice left at night with the Note 10 Plus. The Note 10 Plus can even charge faster than the S10 thanks to the newly released 45-watt charger. Unfortunately, that bigger brick is being sold separately on Samsung's website for $50. Personally, I still think the 25-watt fast charger that comes in the box for the Note and the 15-watt charger that comes with the S10 are both still pretty fast. So unless you constantly forget to charge your phone at night or use your phone intensely to drain the battery quickly like play games or watch a ton of media, then you should be fine with the regular Samsung fast charger. It's still nice to have that option with the Note 10 Plus if you want the fastest charging speeds on the market. Unfortunately, the regular Note 10 doesn't support the maximum rate on that big 45-watt charger. A few more things that I wanted to mention is that both phones do have water resistance with an IP68 rating, front-facing stereo speakers with the use of the earpiece, fast wireless charging and support for Samsung Pay, expandable storage, though the regular Note 10 doesn't include this option, just the Plus model. The S10 Plus also includes the option to upgrade the internal storage up to 1 TB in size. The Note 10 Plus just has a max capacity of up to 512 GB, and the regular Note 10 is even worse at just 256 GB. Both of the Plus models do have the option for up to 12 GB of RAM, and they all work on all 4 major US carriers. And if you didn't notice me mention it earlier, the Note 10 models are the first flagships by Samsung to get rid of the headphone jack. Kind of a bummer. So it's not hard to see that the Note 10 Plus does have a few downgrades when compared to the Galaxy S10 Plus, including less storage capacity and the removal of the headphone jack. The smaller Note 10 model comes with even more compromises, and it's kind of shocking how big of a downgrade it is since it's only $150 cheaper than the Plus version. The display is only 1080p, it has a noticeable drop in battery capacity, 800 mAh less, it has 8GB of RAM instead of 12, 256GB of storage without the larger 512GB option. It doesn't have expandable storage, there's no time of flight sensor, and it's not compatible with the new 45-watt charger. With that being said, the regular Note 10 starts at $950, while the Note 10 Plus is $1,100. The Galaxy S10 is obviously cheaper with the starting price of $900, and the Galaxy S10 Plus model is $1,000. All of these phones are still on the pricier side of the spectrum, though the Note series has always been a bit more expensive. If you were debating on getting the Note 10 Plus or the S10 Plus, I'd say go with the Note since it still has enough features and hardware changes to call it an upgrade, even though it isn't a drastic one. Plus, it's not that much more expensive, but I can't say the same thing about the smaller regular Note 10 considering the feature disparity. If you were looking at the smaller models of the two, definitely go with the Galaxy S10 since it's a lot cheaper and you're really not missing out on much besides the stylus. It has a higher resolution display, it's not that much smaller in size, it has better options for storage, includes a micro SD card slot, and it has a headphone jack. Usually the Note series has been the complete package for years, but for 2019, I can't say that either of the models of the Note 10 have met those standards. Both are missing a 90Hz display like some other recent and upcoming phones, they got rid of the heart rate sensor, the regular Note 10 comes with plenty of downgrades, which sucks if you wanted it because you have small hands. Most of the S10's issues weren't fixed, including camera low light performance and biometric unlocking speeds, and Samsung could have easily included a headphone jack one last time this year since the S10 includes it. Don't get me wrong, the Note 10 Plus is still a great device that is a little better than the S10 Plus, but I do feel like Samsung could have done better with it. Those are my thoughts comparing the Galaxy Note 10 and S10. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and drop a thumbs up. Don't forget to check out those D-brand skins, get subscribed with the notification bell turned on so you don't miss out on any future comparisons or reviews, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!